Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob, the Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we're reviewing something interesting, something coming in from Eclipse Knives. This one's interesting. All right, today we're reviewing the Eclipse Knives. This is an interesting one. The name of the knife is actually the 180.1 D2 steel. This is from Eclipse Knives. This is a ridiculously large knife, but I like it. This is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, so just fair warning ahead of time. If you're expecting this to be absolutely EDC, perfectly carryable, absolutely functional for everyday use, this is not it. Okay, this is a knife that has almost a specific purpose in mind and a smaller group in mind, but it's fun. And I was given the knife to give away. So if you're the winner, I think you'll enjoy this. It's a fun knife, right? It's something I think I would keep in my car. You know, it'd be a really useful big tool in that regard. But let's talk about it. First of all, the name of the knife is the 180.1. It's from Eclipse Knives, is the designer. I do not know where they manufacture this. I don't have any insight. It is Chinese made, so it's going to be one of the OEMs over there. I can't tell you where or who it is. I do not think it's Bestech. I do not think it's Riot. I do not think it's Kubi. I do not think it's Petrified Fish, Kaiser, Concept, Vosteed, Tuya, any of those that I know. This is going to be someone else, right? So just keep that in mind. The knife, as the size and everything it is it's G10, steel liners, a big steel pocket carry clip that I believe, yeah, it is reversible. If you were to be able to get the glass breaker off, I believe you can reverse it. So right and left hand carry, if you want to carry this. It does have a little bit of a harpoon, a big swedge. Definitely could be considered maybe a clip point, a drop point. I don't know. Knife police, tell me what it should be. You know, call it out. Tell me what it should be. It is a non-traditional button lock. It's a dual engagement button lock. That's what I would call it. The stop pivot and the open pivot. So stop pin and the open pin is also the button lock itself. That's what engages and closes and locks it in place. But there is as well a backup open pin and a stop pin here as well. So when we close this, you'll see there's that. Does it touch? Let me see. Does it actually touch? Yeah, it touches. It touches. It looks real close, right? So there is that. So you do have that security. But the pin itself, the button is what engages it. It's a heavy knife. We'll do some measurements here in just a second. There's some weight relief on the inside on the steel liners. The clip is nice and rounded. There's no sharp points on this. I mean, it's actually really well done as far as the G10. I do like that. There's a nice texture for grip, so you're not going to drop this. I mean, you could chop with this. You can get back here and you could whack away like that, right? I think you could do that. Now, it is a button lock. So as with anything, right tool for the right job. I don't know if I would be whacking away like this in case it disengages. That's just my perspective. I'd be more inclined to carry it up here because if the lock did disengage, I could at least stop it here, right? But, you know, maybe if you want to throw it, I guess, I don't know. This doesn't make me feel 100% secure. I don't know. I don't know any history about the lock and how well it holds up. It is cool. I wish I could tell you I didn't do a hard juice test. It would be a destructive test, and I feel like I couldn't give it away if I did actually test that. So if anybody's tested it, let me know. If you win it and you do a destruction test on it, it's your knife, let us know, right? I would love to hear back in the comments. I do like the cutout here for this. You're not going to engage that if you're just going across here. It's pretty depressed. You really have to get your finger in there. So the chances of disengaging that lock is going to be minimal, which I think is great. Blade Seals D2 stonewashed. I like it. Nice and no sharp edges on top. I mean, there's enough there. I think you can get a fire starter going, and you could certainly use this down here, the choil for a fire starter. It's not a great choil. You're going to definitely get a little smiley going on down here. So relatively okay sharp. You could sharpen this up. I would probably have a much longer edge on this. It's probably a short edge because it's meant to be more of a hard juice kind of thing. I'm guessing. I don't know. The swedge is functional. you know, as I tell you, swedge can be an aesthetic thing, but it can also be a functional thing to allow you to turn a cut into something heavy like plastic, leather, or cardboard. So it does allow you to turn it. It works like a rudder. If you want to turn right, your rudder turns left, so it allows you to turn. If you want to turn right, your rudder turns right. You want to turn left, your rudder turns left. That's what allows you to turn. And so if I'm turning this way, this part is, if I want to turn to the left, the swedge up here goes to the left, right? So that's what allows me to turn. Anyways, that's the physics of it. If you're interested, it's nerdy kind of stuff, but you know, I'm a nerd. All right, the lock type, like I said, I would call this a double button lock, non-traditional button lock kind of engagement. It is not, you're not gonna be able to flip it open. It is, you have to depress it to open it and depress it to close it. So you have to press the button. Opening, it's not bad. I mean, for the size of the knife, I can close it and I can open it. I mean, for the size of this knife, it's ridiculously big, right? So for the size of this knife, I don't think it's bad. And I like the fact that I have to really push to get it disengaged. It's not like I don't barely push it, and I have to really push down. So if you got big old meaty fingers like I do, I have to kind of push in there. Thinner fingers, you'll have a little easier time with this, I think. But it works. It still works. And it's very comfortable. There's nothing there to get in my way to make it uncomfortable. So I appreciate that. Closing is not bad. The weight of the blade makes it absolutely close. You could open it like that as well, right? And close it like that. So you can also press it and open it two-handed, and then you can close it two-handed if you wanted to. So, I mean, that's the reality. We'll get into the measurements about here in just a second, but this thing is just interesting. It is limited in what it can do, but for the size of the knife, sometimes that can be good. We are pretty centered, I think. Let's see, how are we? No blade play. There's a little bit of play, and that's because of the lock right here. This button lock, it's not fully, you know, in there, and it does move a little bit because there's a little room there, which I'm okay with, right? For the size of the blade, I think that's okay. You know, just keep that in mind. All right, let's do some measurements on this guy. Let's see how heavy he is, because I think we are dealing with something not super light. I'm gonna guess it's like 10, 12 ounces, somewhere around there. 12.7 ounces, almost 13 ounces, just 3.3 ounces shy of a pound. This is not a light knife. It's big, it's huge, it's gigantic. All right, let's go ahead and measure the length of this knife, because it is not a short knife, right? So we're dealing with a knife that is, well, if you go from here, it's about 11¼ inches, 11 1/8 inch. If you go with the glass breaker, you're at almost, you're I want to say 11 7/16. All right, so the handle area, if you go here, you've got about 6 inches. If you choke up, you could get 6.5 inches. I don't even need to show that. That's plenty of room. I can do two hands on this thing, so there you go. It's like a pocket sword. From the tip of the blade to the back of the scale, you're just over 4.5 inches. It looks like it's 4 9/16 of an inch. The cutting length is going to be 4 3/8 of an inch. So not a short one. Definitely keep that in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and do the blade stock thickness. I'm gonna guess maybe close to 1/2 inch. I don't know, maybe a little under. Make sure this is clean. Sometimes just the slightest dirt can make this go off. All right, so it's 191 thousandths of an inch. Let's measure it back here. 187. Okay, so about 187 thousandths of an inch. So just shy of 1/5 of an inch. It's still pretty stinking thick. That's a big boy. All right, so where does this run into? It is actually a budget knife. It's not a super budget knife, but it's a budget knife. It's under $100. I think it was $95, if I recall correctly. I'll have a link down below for it. You can buy this. It's a fun knife. I don't hate it. I got it to give away, so I'm going to give it away. If I collected knives and never gave any of them away, I would buy a second one for my collection. I really would. It's a fun knife. The problem is every time I buy a knife in this range, I end up giving it away. It's just what I do in this channel. I have certain things I keep, and anything in this price range, unless I give it to a family member, give it to something, I give it away to you guys, right? It's just what I do. So that's what we're going to do with this one. Under 100 bucks. I think it's not a super budget, but it's about 95 bucks. That's what it was when I last checked. If I'm wrong, of course, I'll have it up here. Hopefully remember to get it up there, right? All right, purpose. Is this EDC hard to use collection piece? Yeah, I think so. Could you make it a collection piece? Sure, it's big and ridiculous. Sometimes those things are fun to collect, right? It's just fun for what it is. Is it EDC? Yeah, you could. I mean, you better have some big pockets and strong pockets, but you could EDC it. I'd jogger shorts. You'd be showing your underwear or whatever else. If you didn't have any on, well, you'd be showing everything. So just, I don't know if I'd wear that with shorts and stuff, but you know, maybe some heavy duty pants with a big belt. But yeah, you could, I guess, EDC. Hard use. This is where I don't know enough about the lock. And I say hard use to some extent. I would be cautious with whacking when you've got a button lock. I don't know how confident I feel about that unless I took it apart, and I don't really want to take this guy apart because I don't know how deep it is and how it engages. But maybe up here, yeah, just don't be whacking like that, because if this disengages and cuts down, I don't want you to lose your fingers, right? So up here, yeah, and probably, you know, you could do some hard pushing and some probably, I mean, it's still gonna have a thin tip, so be careful. It's not a pry bar. Use the right tool for the right job. Fixed blade, maybe an axe if you need it, but or a pry bar, right? So, but yeah, I think relatively hard use. I mean, it seems pretty robust. So, overall ergos and feel in action. Let's talk about this. So, handles are actually very comfortable. Really nicely chamfered, rounded up here, no sharp edges anywhere, nice texturing. Outstanding job on that. Open and close is relatively simple with this 2-button non-traditional engagement. It does works pretty well. The textures is nice on G10. It does give you grip. It's not going to slip out of your hand, which is important for a big old knife like this. You don't want to slip this and drop it on your foot or your toe, right? So nice to have some texture, I think. Jimping, there's some jimping up here. It does work, and I think with gloves would be very nice and aggressive. Going for a push cut or a pull cut, you could definitely do that, right? So I think that would work. There's no jimping back here. It's got a nice big steel back spacer, which I think is good to keep your fingers away from that. Has a glass breaker. That's kind of a bonus, right? The clip is very functional. It doesn't allow for anything to get stuck under there because it's pretty tight to the scale. Good job, good job. This is one of the most ideal super deep carry kind of clips you can make, I think, in my opinion. Next to the Lynch clips that actually bow up a little bit, right? So I think that's pretty cool. It is reversible, so you could do right hand, left hand tip up, or backpack carry, I guess, right? Maybe, you know, over the backpack carry if you need to pull it out for whatever reason. There's no lanyard anywhere on this. I don't know where a lanyard would absolutely help, because if you slip, lanyard wouldn't make sense to me. But, you know, I know lanyard people love lanyards, so I guess you could drill a hole through and put a lanyard in if you wanted to. All right, ergos. Ergos, like I said, are comfortable. They're pretty good. The action for the size of the knife is pretty smooth. It is caged bearing, so that's really nice. As far as the design flow, for the size of the knife, it's not bad. It does give you a lot of options for grip area here. I like that. Different fingers, different places, choking up. So to me, that kind of is nice. Like if I was trying to cut something really far away, in one regard, this is nice because you could reach this and then get into cutting something like you have to cut a rope. That's kind of, you got to reach into. That's kind of cool, right? Or cut a little piece of tree or bark or whatever, something that got stuck there and you got to cut it out. You can also go up kind of tight, and then you have this nice big thumb placement. And there's jimping here if you're worried about slipping, but you could go in here and just push that cut. So I think that's nice. I think the ergos and the design flow is nice. The function works. It works for the size of the knife. It's kind of ridiculous. It's almost absurdly thick, but it's not super absurd thick. This is thinner than some Medfords, and so to me, it's thick. It's a big boy. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's not absurdly thick, and I think you could definitely use it. All right, so what do I think about the fidget factor scale? For the size of the knife, the fidget factor scale, it's kind of limited. It's a button lock, a single button lock. I'm gonna put it into the category like an automatic, right? An automatic opens, but then you got to close it manually. This one, at least, I can open, and I can open and close with the button and with the weight. So I can use the weight, and then I could flip it open, and I could close it, right? So there is that. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3. For the size of the knife, the blade, the way it all works, I like that it is not easily depressed for this giant blade, right? I'm going to give it a 3. I think that's pretty good. Fidgety goodness? Yeah, you know, I mean, it's big, it's bulky, it's hard to, you know, it's a big knife. So I think, to be fair, I'm going to give it a nice A-, a 90. I'm keeping in mind the cost. I'm keeping in mind this completely new lock design. I'm keeping in mind the size and length of the knife with my ergos. For what the purpose to me is, just, it's for you to have a big knife, right? I think it's a 90. I think I'm going to give it a 90. I don't think that's unfair. I mean, I could probably give it more, because when you look at, you know, the design, I mean, it also has a glass breaker. This is nice. Like, if you need to break something out, it's got a nice tip to get through there. So I haven't used that because I don't break glass. I don't have any glass to break, but that would be nice to use as well. I do like the clip. Clip is nice and solid. Does work, flexible, so nice. Yeah, very cool, very cool. So a 3 out of 10, and I'm going to give it a 90. Is it recommended? So this is one of these things where you have to take into account of the design, the purpose, what it is, what it's for, right? So am I recommending this for every person, everyday EDC carry? Like right now, I'm carrying my Voodoo Radon 2, right? This is a great size. I love this knife. This would obviously be something incredibly recommended. Is this for every? No, it's not. But for the money that you're paying, D2, nice block of steel, and kind of innovative new double button lock. I want to call it a double button non-traditional lock. That's what I'm going to call it. That's my term for it. I don't know if there's a real name for it. Somebody let me know if you know in the comments down below. But I like it. Steel liners, everything, what it does. I'm going to recommend it. I am. Is it a favorite? No, it's not a favorite. Don't confuse recommend with favorite. If you like overbuilt knives, you're looking for something big, you like the idea of a button lock, you're not going to be using it like an axe, which I don't do that. Get an axe, get a fixed blade. It's not a fixed blade replacement, though it's big as a fixed blade. It's not a fixed blade replacement, but it can do a lot of things a fixed blade can do. The difference is, you know, you could maybe do things with your fixed blade that you would do like that. I wouldn't do with this, right? But anything else that you're doing with a fixed blade, I think would be kind of cool. So yeah, so I'm going to recommend it based on that. It's not a favorite, but I'm definitely going to recommend it. But the caveat in my recommending is that, just so you know, is that this is a different design. It's a big old boy. It's 95, I think, at the time of the video. Prices may change, or time that I last looked it up. If I'm wrong, I'll have it up here again. It's 95 bucks. So definitely recommend it for it. If any of you guys have one of these, let me know what you think, your thoughts on it. I'm kind of curious. I think it's interesting. But before we do that, let's zoom in a little bit so we can take a look at this gigantic knife. I almost can barely get the blade into the screen. There's that nice swedge. You can see EK, minimal billboarding. You have this nice finger area. This swedge up here gives it kind of like a harpoon clip point, like a heart clip. We can call it a heart clip, maybe. I don't know. Then you've got the jimping up here, which works really well. This is the dual button non-traditional lock. So I'm going to depress this button, and you can see right here. You see how this engages? Now this right in here, this is why I think it's a little bit better than what you would think. There's a screw right there that holds this lock in, and I suspect it's spread out underneath into the screw. And if we get over here, you'll see there's another section right there. Is there a third? Yeah, so it's on both sides. It's screwed in place. I think that's really cool, right? I think that's really cool. Sorry, I don't know if you could see that. So here we're coming over this side, and over here you'll see that side. And that means that it's not popping up and stopping. There's underneath where it's holding it, right? So underneath, this is why I think it's a little more robust than a traditional button lock. But it's still a button lock of some kind. So just keep that in mind, right? There are parts and mechanisms in here that are not, like, it's not a fixed blade. Just keep that in mind. But I do like that. I think that's kind of cool. It's got a flat head up here, which, you know, for the size of the pivot, it makes sense. It's cost effective, right? So then we're gonna look at the scale. The scales are really done nicely chamfered all the way around. That makes it very comfortable. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scale screws with the pivot, and they're all T6s, which is fine. And then you have the glass breaker, which if you have the tool to unscrew this on and off, you could reverse it. You can see it's flat here as it is over here. So this is reversible. And then we have the back spacer back here, right? And then we look inside, we have the weight relief on one side, weight relief on the other. I think it's cool. And then we have over here with the clip side, a very large clip, which makes sense to keep it in a pocket. It won't, it's not going to jump out, slip out. If you put it in your backpack, you still have the same screws that you're dealing with over here. You have the second screw over here. I'm going to guess it's not a captive pivot, right? So you're going to need 2 screwdrivers to work with this. And then over here, you see the part number 180.1 and D2 steel. And then again, stone washed over here with the jimping up here. And under here, you can choke up here. You've got a choil there. It is a flat grind, right? And it's not super sharp, but it's definitely a pretty robust tip. So I think that's not bad at all. So let's get a nice little picture if we can get it into the screen, because this boy is not a small guy. He is a big one. It's a big one. It's a big one. We got ourselves a big one here. All right. All right. Very cool. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun checking this out, and it's gonna be fun giving this away. I think it'll be a fun knife for someone to win. If you like goofy, crazy, awesome knives to just have fun with, this is definitely one. If you're looking for a knife that's gonna be super EDC, super, it may not be for you. Don't, maybe don't buy it. But I do recommend it as a fun, interesting knife. Like I said, if I buy another one, I'll probably end up giving it away. So that's why I kind of give up on buying budget knives for myself now, because they end up just being giveaways at some point, even though I want to keep a hold of some. It's what it is. But appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, or entertaining, would you please consider hitting the like button? If you've already hit the like button, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button as well. Subscribing and liking the channel, it does help out. It allows these videos to do better, and I appreciate it. And it helps out the channel overall. I want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone out there who watches the videos, all of you guys who are part of the live stream content. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't already, maybe also consider hitting the notification button that's down below as well, so you can be notified of future content like this and other videos. And a big shout out, thank you to my channel members. You are amazing. You do 2 things for me. You encourage me, and I really appreciate that. Secondly, because of your generous support of the channel, you allow me to do things I didn't think we could do. Weekly giveaways, check out knives, cost of shipping, different expenses in the channel. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. So I want to do 2 things for you. All new channel members, I'd like to send you a channel sticker and a thank you note. And secondly, you're eligible for the members exclusive monthly giveaway. So when that 1 week in a month, we'll be giving a budget banger giveaway. We'll also be giving a members giveaway. And members giveaway is usually nicer than a budget banger for sure. It's my small way to say thank you to you guys. If any of that sounds interesting, like you like the idea of the sticker, you like the idea of the giveaway, maybe the emojis, maybe the special content, all those things, there's a link down below in the description. I have 3 different tiers. Would love to have you. Don't feel ever obligated to do it because you want to, but if you do and you want to, thank you. All right, appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, maybe check me out on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.